I'm going to be trying some of the most viral products at Sephora. What I will be sharing today is the Ilia Face Space Milk. I'll also be applying on the Glow Recipe Hue Drops. I'll be wearing the new Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation paired with the Huda Beauty's new fragrance-free loose setting powder. As for blush, we'll be using the Haus Labs Pomelo Peach Blush paired with the Milk Jelly Tints. Yes, I haven't given you my thoughts and opinions on this yet, and you'll be hearing that in this video. We'll also be trying on, once again, the Gisou Lip Oil and the Charlotte Tilbury Foxy Brown Lip Liner. And lastly, I will give you my thoughts on the Armani Beauty Liquid Eyeshadows. Hi gorgeous, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle, and recently I splurged a little bit during the Sephora sale. If you missed that video, I will link it somewhere in the cards. So today I am very excited to finally get into all of this, try it on camera, and let you know my first impressions and initial thoughts on all of the products that I bought. Keep in mind that these are first impressions. They're not my full review, which means I might have a negative or positive first impression. It does not mean the product is bad or good. It just means this is what I'm thinking so far. If you want to find out if I actually would recommend something in the long term, I recommend you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I will always let you know what my favorites are. And if you're ever curious about my monthly favorites, I always link my affiliate links down in the description below, where I earn a small commission on the products if you decide to shop through them. You would be supporting me and my channel. But not only that, in those affiliate links, I share categories of products that I'm loving in the moment, and I update them on a monthly basis. So if you want to know in real time what I'm currently loving and what I'm switching out before I even post a video about it, it will always be in the shop my favorites down in the description below. I wanted to include as many new products in this video as I could, but some of them are kind of repeated products, so I can't use them all at once. It's time to finally sit down and try out all of my new Sephora purchases. I'm going to start off with skin prep. This is the Ilia Base Face Milk. Y'all already know I've had some really good first impressions if you watched my Sephora shopping vlog. I did apply this on already this morning, but it has been a few hours, and I just want to show you how it looks on the skin. It's a very milky texture, but it's thicker than most toners and essences, so it feels very plush and plump on the skin. For me personally, it does add extra hydration, but I wouldn't wear it alone because my skin is so dehydrated, it just like eats this up. So I would pair it with moisturizer on top. Today I already applied on my moisturizer, so I am just gonna use this as kind of like a primer for my makeup. Also, if my skin gets really red, that's just how my skin gets. With any type of contact, my skin gets red. It doesn't mean I'm not being gentle with my face, it just means like my skin gets red with any type of contact. This is my skin with the Ilia Face Space Milk. I feel like my skin just looks so glowy and feels very hydrated. Unfortunately, I'm not going to use the Topicals Active Scar Filling Primer because it doesn't pair well with the Urban Decay foundation, which is what I'm going to use today. What I'm going to do instead is use the new Glow Recipe Hue Drops. I really love this under makeup. It makes a very hydrating base for my makeup, and it also has like that glow, and it's a sheer glow. So it leans a little bit more like skincare, and it's not what I would consider to be like a drop situation, because I don't think this formula is as pigmented as the Drunk Elephant ones. It's gonna give you that sheen, but when you mix it in with other products, I don't think it's pigmented enough to really make a big difference in the coloring of the products, but it will give you that hydration. And I can already see myself in the camera. I look so golden and bronzed right now. So now my skin is very hydrated, very glowy. It might even look a little bit too greasy for you, but for me, this is kind of the goal, especially when you're wearing like a transfer-proof matte foundation, which is what I'm going to put on now. This is the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. I have the shade 18 Medium Neutral. It's supposed to be transfer proof. It's supposed to be long wear, waterproof, all of the things. I'm just gonna shake it up, which I don't think you need to do, but just in case. And it is a self-setting foundation, which means you need to work a little bit more quickly with it. One thing I want to warn you is that the shade is a little bit off for me, so keep that in mind because it might look weird on camera. I have taken pictures with this before and it actually looks like the foundation matches me, but in person, the tone of this foundation is slightly off. It's neutral, but it leans a little bit more like it's almost too neutral for my skin tone, if that makes sense, because I'm like a neutral warm. It just kind of depends on how the color is formulated. Some brands have more of a warm tone neutral, and this one is a little bit off for me. But already, I feel like that was such a quick and easy application. I didn't need a lot of product to get that medium coverage, and with a hydrating base, it looks so much better than the first time I applied this. The first time I tried this, I feel like it was like enhancing all of my pores and texture that I didn't even know I had. But now that I've like put on a good hydrating base, I feel like my makeup looks so good already. On this side, I'm gonna put on the Vanish Airbrush primer from Hourglass. This is my all-time favorite primer. Like, it's a little bit more of like a hydrating formula, and I want to see if this will look even better with the foundation. It also blurs her skin very slightly, nothing major, just like enough. I feel like these could be my next go-to primer bases. All right, let's go in with the other side now, and I am dabbing the foundation. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like kind of spooked because now it looks like the foundation matches me today. But I think it's because I paired it with the Hue Drops, and that could be why it's actually matching me, because the Hue Drops gives me a little bit more of a deeper shade and a more reddish tone to my skin. All right, if I compare this side without the primer to this side, I do notice a very slight difference. Nothing major. I prefer it with the primer, but it still looks good without the primer. I want slightly more coverage, so I'm just gonna go back in with more of the foundation and just apply it where I need it. You wanna work in small areas and you wanna work with small bits at a time, because if you don't, this foundation does set down pretty quickly. Now that I've tried the foundation this way, I have really high hopes for it. I think you really just need to pair it with a good primer and a good base for your skincare, because if you don't, it will look really dry and textured on your skin. And right now, I feel like my skin is actually looking really glowy. It's how I expected it to be. Technically, you could just leave your foundation like this. It's supposed to be self-setting. You're not supposed to have to wear powder on top. I would still feel pretty confident with my skin looking this way, and I don't say that with a lot of foundations because I always feel the need to powder, but this gives me like just enough matte skin where I don't feel overly flat and I don't feel overly glowy. It's exactly kind of like what I would look for to not have to powder, so I feel really good about that. But of course, we do need to try the new Huda Beauty fragrance-free powder, so I am going to be using a powder in this video, but I just wanted to put that out there in case that's what you're looking for. While I let everything kind of sink into the skin, I'm gonna do my eyeshadow. I'm using the Armani Beauty liquid eyeshadow in the shade 22M. This is called Cashew. It is a medium, kind of neutral, cool tone brown. Just gonna take a fluffy synthetic brush and blend it into the eyes. I really want the shade called, it's like a dark chocolate brown. It's called Wood, I think, something like that. It's gone viral and it's completely sold out, so I am waiting and I'm hoping that I can still get it during the sale. But I really love this formula of liquid eyeshadow. It is more pricey and expensive than the About Face eyeshadow paints, but I do prefer these because they're a lot easier to work with than the About Face paints, and they're also not meant to be like paints. They're like liquid eyeshadows, not actual paints, so they're not overly pigmented, and you can do a good like one and done eyeshadow look if you wanted to. And I feel like most people who don't really like eyeshadow, who don't really know how to work with eyeshadow, would find this really easy to work with. So this is shade Cashew on my eyes. It's nothing crazy significant, but I do like to use it as a base for the rest of my eye makeup. So I'm gonna go in with the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 3 matte palette. Then I'm gonna take the cream black color and line my eyes. Then I'm gonna go in with this cool tone brown. Use it to blend out the crease a little. Taking the deeper brown shade and a smaller eyeshadow brush, and just gonna blend it on the outer V. Going back in with the black shade and blending it on the bottom lash line. Taking a pencil brush, going in with, again, that medium cool tone neutral brown. Blending the bottom lash line, going in with the deeper shade, just a small amount. I'm going to blend out the black liner so that it's not as harsh and then it's a little bit more smoked out. And then for my tight line, I'm using the Makeup by Mario Perfect Brown Pigment Pro pencils. Just gonna tight line my lashes. Eyeshadow is done. I don't do mascara until the very end because I want my eyelashes to stay curled for as long as possible. So I wait until the very last second. I don't have any new like cream bronzers from Sephora, so I'm just gonna go with my tried and true, which is the Rare Beauty bronzer sticks. I use two different colors, Good Energy and Happy Soul. Good Energy always goes on my forehead because that's where I have more of a deeper complexion. Then I go in with Happy Soul, which is more of a cool tone, and I just apply on a little bit, kind of use it as like a contour situation. And I'm just gonna blend it out with the Sephora 64 brush, which I did recommend this in my Sephora video. It blends out cream bronzer like an absolute dream. Now for the fun part, which is blush. I've never told you what I thought about the Milk Makeup blush. I've been using it behind the scenes and I can finally conclude that I think that it is an okay product. It depends on what type of makeup wearer you are. If you are a full glam makeup person, I don't recommend this. I think that this is very much a particular product, something that requires like the right time and place to wear, if that makes sense. It doesn't look good, in my opinion, on like a full beat kind of makeup look, even though I'm gonna do that today. I feel like it looks better with like no makeup look. It pairs really well with skin tints for me, but as for like full coverage foundations, it usually doesn't pair well. I also like to use it like this. I put it on the brush first. We will see if it pairs well with the Urban Decay foundation because it might not. Would you look at that? It does. I also have the shade in Spritz, which I feel like makes a huge difference in how it applies because I've seen a lot of people have a hard time applying on this stain, and if you apply it directly on, like good luck buddy, like it's gonna stay in the spot that you applied it on. But if you apply it like this, the shade Spritz hasn't really given me many problems. It's only caused problems if I wear it with like the wrong foundation. And it looks like it works well with Urban Decay foundation, which is nice. And blush is usually the first thing to go, so I really like the idea of using a stain. I think this is a good product depending on what type of makeup wearer you are, how often you wear something like this. I don't think it's bad. I feel like people are saying it's bad, but I don't think it's bad. I think it just kind of depends on the scenario. And right now I have proved that it does work really well with the Urban Decay foundation. And this is like a medium coverage foundation. So I feel like that's a green flag for this one. Today I'm gonna go in with the Hourglass concealer and I'm in the shade Dune for this one. And then for the Kulfi, I'm in the shade Mango Drop. I'm just gonna do a bit of a cleanup because sometimes I'm a little bit sloppy with my blush placement. Why did I change my accent? Just gonna blend out my under eyes. I always dab and pat so I can get the most pigment coverage possible. All right, so that is what the makeup is looking like right now. In person, it's looking really good. On camera, I can never freaking tell. So right now, I'm very happy with how this is looking, and I'm hoping it shows up like that on camera. All right, now that we've done the creams, I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush setting, what is this called? My brain just like left me. Setting spray. Again, technically with the Urban Decay foundation, you don't need to do all this, but I do want to try out all these other products on camera, so that is why I'm doing it. I think if I get enough requests to do a full-on review for this, then I will try to do it without like everything else and see how it wears. All right, then I'm just gonna pat in the setting spray with a sponge. I feel like this just really helps melt my makeup. Now for the exciting part, we're gonna go in with the fragrance-free Huda Beauty Banana Bread Loose Setting Powder. I have been waiting for this day because this is such a good powder. I wasn't able to use it as often as everyone else was using it because it was too fragrant for me and it started irritating my skin. So I'm hoping that this isn't gonna irritate my skin and I can also use this powder and enjoy the actual formula of it. I'm gonna take a powder puff, dab it in, then dab off all of the extra excess because that's a lot. I don't want to put too much. And then just start pressing it into the skin. Wow. If this doesn't irritate me because it's fragrance free, it might actually beat the One Size powder. I'm not exaggerating because the One Size powder can be a little bit heavy, but this powder is just enough. I feel like I'm having such a good makeup day. All of this combined together, foundation, powder, primer, Ilia face base, niacinamide hue drops. I feel like my makeup looks so freaking good today. This is good news. This is really good news. Mixed with that, I'm just gonna go back in with a bronzing powder. This is the Gucci that I recommended in my Sephora video, just to bring back some of the life after setting my face. Now we're gonna go in with the Haus Labs Pomelo Peach Blush and apply this on our cheeks. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. That is gorge. This paired with the Milk Makeup stain is going to last me all day. I have nowhere to go, but I wish I had somewhere to go because I feel like my makeup is a 10 out of 10 today. Now that our base is done, I'm gonna go in with my eyelash curler. I don't really buy high-end mascara because it never works for me, so I'm going with my tried and true L'Oreal Butterfly Mascara. I've been trying to not wear eyelashes as often because I feel like I'm becoming dependent on it. It's one of those things where it's like I start to hate how I look without them and I don't like that feeling. So I'm trying to like retrain myself to love and appreciate the lashes that I have. The lip liner that I recently bought is the Foxy Brown Lip Cheat from Tilbury. It's a really good like neutral brown color. It just glides onto the lips. I really think it fits with my skin tone really well. And then I'm just gonna pair it with the Makeup by Mario Flat Iron Lipstick, which is my favorite lipstick, but as you can tell, she is nude and she is pigmented, so I always need to wear it with a liner. And then I mix it with a gloss. This is the Gisou Honey Infused Lip Oil in the shade Watermelon Sugar. I really hope I don't regret this because y'all, first impressions of this, the smell is not my favorite. It's not, I don't know if I can stand the smell at all actually. It's very artificial watermelon. It tastes and smells very cheap. Like it's not like a sophisticated watermelon scent. Like I would want it to smell like this, like the hue drops. If it smelled like this, would love it, but it does not smell like that. It smells like a cheap watermelon scent, unfortunately. The packaging of this, absolutely gorgeous. The applicator, you know, could be better. But I'm just gonna apply this on. The gloss is pretty much clear with shimmer in it, so I feel like it does a good job at like mixing my liner and my lipstick. But if I'm being real, I don't think this gloss or this lip oil is like incredible at all. I like it, but I don't think it's incredible. Like I don't think it's worth the hype per se. And it depends on which one you choose because I don't know if it's just the watermelon sugar that smells weird. I know the original one, people complained about it smelling weird, but maybe the strawberry and the mango one smells better. It's really hard for me to tell because I only have this one. I do like the way that it looks on my lips. It's very glass-like on the lip and it's an oil kind of gloss texture. So it's not as sticky or glossy as the Dior one. And it's not as thick and plush as the Elle lip oils. It's a little bit thinner. It has some tack to it, but it's not extreme. It feels very comfortable on the lips. So if you can get past the scent and you love the packaging and you feel like this is something that you are going to constantly reapply, then it would be worth it. But if you have a bunch of lip oils already, if you don't need another like clear lip gloss or lip oil in your collection, then you know, you're not really missing out on anything. I'm glad that I have it because I think I'm gonna, you know, wear it because I bought it. And I really enjoy the packaging and just the actual feeling on the lips, and even the look on the lips is really nice, especially because it's clear, so I can just like wear it with any lipstick color that I have on. But other than that, it's not the best of the best. One thing that we didn't try was the Hourglass Vanish pressed powder. I don't really need this right now, but I kind of want to show you what it looks like. I have the shade in Translucent Medium, and my skin is just so matte already and blurred from all of the other products I've tried. I've never had my skin look this good. Like, I'm telling you, my skin has never been this blurred, but like not cakey at the same time, because sometimes it can be blurred like cakey, but it's not looking cakey in person, which is really cool. And even applying on this powder, it's such a thin powder, but it's like, who is she? So this is a close-up of how the makeup is looking. My skin looks the most blurred it's ever looked. It kind of looks like there's a filter on my skin. So that's a really good sign for all of my complexion products, which is what I cared most about, especially in person. Usually when I pack on this much powder, when I'm wearing like a transfer-proof foundation, my skin looks very cakey, but because of the skin prep, I feel like that made such a significant difference. So again, Ilia Face Base Milk, so good as a prep for under makeup, paired with the Glow Recipe Hue Drops. I think that these are just like the hydrating, perfect duo for your makeup. And if you want more of a smooth, blurred canvas for your makeup, then you can add on the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. These three together, iconic. It made such a difference, especially paired with such a drying foundation in my opinion. The Urban Decay Face Bond is a very drying foundation. It sets really quickly on the skin, and if you don't prep your skin well, I noticed that it will enhance all types of texture. But with a really good base, I found that this is an incredible foundation. Paired with an incredible base, the Huda Beauty Baking Powder is amazing, especially because it's fragrance free now. I think that this might become my all-time favorite powder because my skin has never looked this blurred, but at the same time not cakey. As for the Haus powder, you already kind of know how I feel about this. It's very silky smooth on the skin, also a blurring powder, especially paired with everything else. I feel so matte that I'm like, dang, I should have gone in with a highlighter because my skin is the mattest it's ever looked. And the Milk Makeup Jelly Tint, she is so pretty on the skin, especially if you are a person who does like no makeup. It also paired really well with the Urban Decay foundation, which was very shocking to me. The Armani liquid eyeshadow, I already know how I feel about this. I've had this for like over a week, maybe a couple of weeks, and I can confidently say this is something that I would recommend. It's so easy to apply on the eyes. It blends very softly on the eyes, and it's very user-friendly. She's expensive, but if you're into that kind of like one and done liquid eyeshadow look, highly recommend. I also really liked the Foxy Brown Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. The Gisou I have mixed feelings about. I'm still like, should I recommend this? Should I not recommend this? So I'm kind of in the middle about this one. And then the Hourglass pressed powder I'm also in the middle with because I don't know if it's really like a necessary product in my makeup routine. I think it helps, especially when I'm on camera and I want to mattify my skin, but I don't know, like, would I recommend you to pay $48 for just a simple mattifying powder? Don't really know about that. So these two I'm gonna have to update you on. I will also update you on the Urban Decay foundation because I usually need to try this out like a million more times before I can confidently say whether I like it or not. So those were all of the things I recently purchased at Sephora today. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing my first impressions. I feel like everything is a thumbs up so far, and that makes me feel very happy because I feel like I didn't waste my money, but I'll keep you updated. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and if you missed my last Sephora shopping video, I will link it somewhere in the cards. But as always, I'll catch you on the flip side.